Business Radio.
Hello, and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nass Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Community Relations at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing and digital agency, and we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship.
We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview some of the greatest business leaders in the industry, and today it gets even better.
Yes, today we certainly have a leader, and we're very excited. And he's one of the most entertaining people I know. Helping provide us with business empowerment today is Brimstone. He is the president and CEO of Hound Comics and Hound Entertainment Group. Brim, welcome to the show today.
Finally, Brim is back to the Tower Talk Business Radio. Oh, I'm super excited, man. It's been a while since I got to speak with you, Ray and Donyshia, and it's the first time I get to see Michael and his smiling face. He's like, listen to this dude talking. I don't know what's going on, but I'm enjoying it. That's what I'm getting out of Michael's face right now.
That's fantastic, because we know that Brim is a friend of the show, and it's going to be a fantastic ride.
Well, we're going to have fun. We're going to have a half hour of frantic ramblings of old Brim, and we're going to have a good time. I promise you that.
Yes, now for the uninitiated, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, for those of you who are not, in the know of who I am, that's cool. I could appreciate that. But now you know who I am. Go check me out at therealbrimstone.com. I've been in entertainment for over 40 years. I started out on Sesame Street and Romper Room, toured the world in music, toured the world in pro wrestling. I'm an actor, author, comic character, animated character. You name it, I've done it. And, I have an amazing show called The Grindhouse Radio that, has basically taken over a good portion of my life. And, it's been a wonderful ride. And I've got some new things that I thought that your listeners might be interested in. Since it's a business show, I said, well, hey, let me reach out to you guys and see if there's something that you might want to do with this stuff. And you're always so graceful, to say, yes, come on, and let's find a time. So here we are. But again, anybody who wants to know more about me, I could go on forever. And I know we have limited time, but if you go to therealbrimstone.com, everything's there, and it's very well laid out. Since last time I saw you guys, I did a complete rebrand on the entire website. Made it a little more PC in terms of the name. Originally I was going under Entrance to Hell, and that was when I was just wrestling. You know what I mean? It was entrancetohell.com because somebody took the brimstone.com name, and I figured, well, what do I need to do? And as in business, branding is one of the most important things that you could do. So the fact that I'm so far removed from pro wrestling at this point, even though it always comes back to wrestling, but in terms of the branding, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew there is only one Brimstone, and that is me. Everybody else is an imitation. And, so therealbrimstone.com, you can find me there. Instagram, the same thing, at The Real Brimstone. So that's where I'm most active. And so if you didn't get a chance to check out the new site, guys, I'd love for you guys to check it out. Let me know your thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will do. Well, obviously you're a Renaissance man. You have a lot going on. As you mentioned, recently you've had some developments in business and so forth. So why don't you jump right in? Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I'm super, super excited. Right before the new year, we finally launched, and you guys know, because you know me for a long time, that I had my own line of sauces and seasonings for a very long time. And, the company that
such good stuff.
Yeah, I Ray, you've had it all. So you've tried it all. I know. What do you call it? Like my line I had to put on hold because of the company that I had been dealing with that was co-packing for me had sold their company, and I'm still very good friends with them. But he sold the company. He was the godfather of hot sauce, and then he went to work for a distribution company. So rather than going that route, with him, I took a minute and was trying to decide what I wanted to do with the sauce and seasoning. And a lot of different people came to me. A lot of people wanted to work with me on my product lines, and I didn't have the time to really put into making sure that my consultations went properly, and that I was dealing with the right people that would take my brand and put out the excellence that I demand as, as somebody who, has to have excellence, that's associated with anything that I put out. The last thing I ever want is something that goes out under my name that I created and I developed, and somebody goes, oh, that's not good. You know what I mean? So I had a long-term relationship with the folks over at Torchbearer Sauces. Now, the funny thing with them is that I've known them since like they got into the business, because I was working, like I said, with K. John's Fiery Foods, and K. John is like granddaddy of all hot sauce, and what do you call it? Torchbearers. I remember them coming up, and they had a small selection. Then it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and their sauce was always so good, and their artwork was always so fun, and their labels were always so cool. So I was like, we should do something with each other someday. And this was a long time ago, and we always joked around about it because, again, I was under K. John's, and it wasn't exclusive, but it was kind of exclusive. So when you're dealing with the granddaddy, you don't want to rock the boat. So that being said, when I moved along to and I wasn't with K. John's, I started seeing Torchbearers were showing up at a lot of the comic conventions that I sign at, and we're seeing them pop up at Great Philly, and this one in here, and then in San Diego, whatever, so I was like, it makes so much sense for us to sit and do something. And we'd gone back and forth so many times. Let's just do it. So I called them up, and Ben and Vid over there. I called Ben, and I was like, listen, brother, we need to do something. Let's make it work. Let's make something happen. We, at the beginning of last year, my son and I shot out to Pennsylvania, and we went down to before COVID, you know what I mean? And we went there, we sat down, and we created what is now known as Torched Stone Thai, which is it's an ultra hot sauce. It's got delicious, unbelievable flavor. And we basically played mad scientist because I didn't want to go in with a preconceived idea of, all right, I want to do this type of a sauce. I wanted to go in, let my mind free, and just enjoy the creation process. I knew I wanted to do something like Thai, So, so I said, let's figure this out. So I went, and my son worked with me, and we messed with flavor profiles. We came out with Torched Stone Thai. Then COVID happened. So we're like, all right, well, now when are we going to release it? So, obviously, we waited a while, and then finally, towards the end of the year, we figured what better way to release a Brimstone product than over around Halloween. So October 31st was the launch. And we are now at this point in time, we are within the top 3 products sold for the entire year last year of Torchbearer sauces. So keep in mind, we started it in October, the end of October. So for November and December, we ranked in the top 3 best-selling products in all of Torchbearer sauces for the rest of the year, which I think is pretty damn impressive. I'm super proud about that.
That's super dope. And let me tell you, I'm sitting here thinking is 2 things. One, what is the flavor process like? Is your mouth just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter as you taste? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
The process is always cool. First of all, I mean, if you're messing with hot sauce at all, you have to have some kind of a tolerance. If you don't have a tolerance, you're in trouble.
Not for the weak.
It's not for the weak, especially when you're putting together an ultra hot. And I learned very early on with the chili heads. When you're messing with the true chili heads, they're gonna snake you, and they're gonna put in the hottest hot that you can get just to mess with you. So I was expecting it, and I made sure that my tolerance is up there, so I can handle the hot stuff. My son wasn't so lucky, but what we did is we started at the lower. We try stuff. Before we make it extra hot, we get the flavor profiles down. So we try to figure out, all right, well, which direction we want to go. Do we want to use any kind of fruit? We want to use honey. We want to do this. We want to do that. And I don't want to give away all the secrets of what's in there, but we come up with the flavor profile and then figure a way. All right, now what pepper is not going to throw off the flavor profile profile all that much, but that we're going to get the heat. You know what I mean? So in this specific sauce, you know, we happen to use Carolina Reaper, which is one of the hottest sauces, hottest peppers in the world. A matter of fact, I think Reaper is still the hottest pepper in the world, which is by Ed Puckerbutt Curry. And this the next one up is him anyway. So yeah, I think it's Pepper X. So I don't know if Pepper X is official yet, but right now it's either Pepper X or Carolina Reaper is the hottest in the world. And Scorpion. So we did Carolina Reaper and Scorpion peppers in this, and it's unreal. You get the delicious, you know, flavor at the front. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of hint of curry, and I'm not a big curry guy, so I'm telling you now, if you don't like curry, you'll still like the sauce, because it's just a slight little touch and it's layered, you know, and you get the garlic and you get the onion and you get the honey, and, you know, and then all of a sudden that's when the heat starts building up, you know what I mean? And that's when you got the problem if you don't have the tolerance. But the you know, the flavor process, I mean, you have a whole bunch of cups, you have a bunch of different things, and, you know, you try to find a base and you go from there. It's a lot of fun, especially that's how it works when you have no idea what you want to put together. You just want to have fun and play mad scientist.
Oh my God, Ray, I am literally like, I'm sweating, tears are like sweat coming
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm like, like, where's the water? I need water. Like, water's the worst thing, because like you're in hell eating this really good hot dog.
And a hint, you never want to drink water. What do you call it? Because all that does is it spreads it around more. You want to have, you know, like something dairy, you know, if you can have dairy. If you don't have dairy, you know, rice is always good if you have that available. But you want to use some kind of like Greek yogurt is actually Bumblefoot. My buddy who he used to be with Guns N' Roses, he's with I think Asia now. But what do you call it? He's a huge hot sauce fanatic, and he'll always use Greek yogurt. So he always has the Greek yogurt handy when he's doing anything with the hot stuff. So yeah, that's the story.
That's the secret.
The story. Yeah.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nass Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, and our guest today is Brimstone. Now, Brim, one of the things I love about you is that I feel like you entertain all the senses, right? You got the hot sauce, you got the radio show, you do voiceover work for cartoons, you act. You also are an author. So I'd like to hear a little bit about your new book.
So obviously during COVID, things were a little crazy. I spent a good portion of my time doing a lot of voice work, you know, like you said, you know, I do a lot of voice work, you know, but I, you know, I couldn't tour, I couldn't do much. And, you know, obviously if you're doing products, a lot of the time you have to go, and I have to go and visit, I have to have meetings, I have to sit down, I have to go over things. It's not as easy to put out a product externally or with another company, you know, when everything's locked down. So, you know, and speaking of voice work, before I forget, anybody who has the Oculus VR, the new Oculus 2 Quest, if you can download the demo of Finger Gun. I do all the voice work on Finger Gun, so it's a nice Western shooter that you use your fingers for guns. So that's a new one that just came out. So keep your eyes on that. But and I did all that like right after because I had COVID, as you know. What do you call it? So I had COVID and I was down and out for 3 weeks, and they actually waited for me to put the demo out until I got better, that I could do the voices. So yeah, so that's going to be awesome. But anyway, back to make a long story longer. I figured I need to be creative aside from just the show or this or that or doing the voice work. I'm like, you know, I gotta be creative. And everybody always says, like, when I do, you know, Twitter posts, which have not been, you know, as rampant recently, but, you know, even on Instagram or on Facebook every so often, like, I'll put up what I call Brimisms. It's, you know, like I'll put up quotes, and you know, it's just I've been around for a long time. I've seen things. I've seen lots of things. I've been on ups. I've been downs. I've been to the top of the mountain and down to the bottom of the valley. You know what I mean? So when I say something, I'm saying it from experience. And so many people say, I really needed that today, or these are words to live by, and saved. You know what I mean? Like, and it's always something so nice to hear that whatever I said, if I said something that it changed somebody's day or their week or their life, I've heard all things. So I sat down and I went through all the stuff that I had put up, and I have enough for like 3 or 4 of them, but I wanted to put out a tabletop book, something quick that I could do, by myself, and just, put together a collection. So I've got Brimisms, what do you call it? Which is, it is a small book, literally, of inspirational and motivational quotes, and the forward for the book is actually done by my friend Charles Martinet, who's does the voice for Mario and Luigi for Nintendo. He's one of my very dear friends, and I was actually on the phone with him, and I go, Charles, and he's in Europe, and we're talking about all the landscape of the world right now, and I said, Charles, I'm putting together this book of all my quotes, and I was wondering if you might do the forward for me. Would you be interested? And he's like, gotta go. I gotta go. You'll get something from me in 5 minutes. 5 minutes comes. There's this huge thing of this beautiful forward for the book, and then he calls me and he goes, "Did you get it? Did you like it?" I love him to death, and so it's a real sweet forward, and then you go on and there's everything in here, just nice words to live by, whether it's business or friendship or personal, just life in general. A word of advice: don't settle for ordinary, be extraordinary. Nothing too crazy, but sometimes you just need those words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here, there's so much hate in this world. We need to rise above it, never apologizing for who you are ever. You know what I mean? It's nothing. This isn't rocket science. It's just things that, to kind of live by, and I had great reaction. My fan base really went crazy over it, and and they say they read a new page every day, or others are like, I read it the whole book every day, or and it's sitting on their in their office on their desk, or it's in their studio, or it's in their what do you call it, on their kitchen, not kitchen table, their dining room table. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel really good that I was able to put that out. And it's something that I'd been wanting to do for a while. So even though COVID was awful, it gave me the opportunity to sit down and really put it together. I did all the stuff on it. It's not like it's crazy art, but I did all the work for it. And I put it out myself. So I thought it was fun.
I think it'd be cool to have. I think we need a desktop calendar version.
Yeah,
a Brimism a day.
That's a lot.
Well, it's 365 days, so
yeah,
you need material for a couple of years, so that would work. And I think we need. What's that, Davey?
I was gonna say, I hear an app with the automatic timer, so I can get my Brimism for the day. Come on, man. That's what we need. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, it exhausts me sometimes, because sometimes I want to put something out and I have nothing, and I'm like, I don't know, what should I write? I should do something, and I stare at the phone for about 20 minutes. I'm like, I got nothing, and then you know what? It always comes. It comes at like 4 a.m. when I wake up out of nowhere, and I'm like, what's going on? And bink, it goes in. Like, I gotta go write it, and that's when I do it. But, and then I post it later on. But yeah, it's a lot, but it's from the heart. Everything I have in there, it's from the heart. Some are better than others. But it's stuff that I've always gotten good feedback on. So, it was a lot of fun. So new book, new sauce, big positive. I'm breaking it here. I just confirmed with my sauce company, with Torchbearer, that one, we're going to be doing Sweet Heat Treat, one of my old sauces that was a big fan favorite. So we're going to be releasing that again soon, and we're also going to be doing another sauce soon. What do you call it? Maybe towards the end of this year, maybe I'll do a Brimisms too. We'll see what happens. But, for now, everybody can get it exclusively at thegrindhouseradio.com on the Grindhouse website. So it's right there in the store. And the sauce can be gotten over at torchbearersauces.com, or you can go to my website, go to external shopping, and it brings you right to a page that gives you all the information about the sauce. So
how do you juggle and how do you manage it all?
it's not easy. My wife hates me. No, it's you know what? I have a very tight schedule. And like I try to maximize my time, and if something it takes me away from maximizing that time, it makes me very angry because I'm really I'm a workhorse when it comes down to work, because when I'm done with work, I want to be able to take that time and stop, because I've learned over the years that you need to be able to stop and just focus on the world around you and your family and friends and so forth. And it's very difficult to balance everything. I do a pretty decent job of it, but again, with my wife, I like to spend time with my wife. I like to spend time with my children. You know what I mean? And when you're consistently working, I work for myself. I'm me. If I'm not working, I'm not making money. So, it's understood, that I have to do what I have to do, but it's also important to me that I take the time out that's needed to, the downtime to stop and smell the flowers and enjoy my family, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like it's a crazy life, man. I have some really cool stuff that I can't announce yet. For some of the networks that I'm in talks with some people for, and others that I signed contracts for, which when I do know for sure what's going on, of course, COVID kind of screwed things up and making things take longer, but I'll let you guys in on it, or I'll tell you off air. And then I got a really cool, I don't care about about confidential agreements. I trust you guys. But what do you call it? The one of the big things that I just signed on for that I can talk about, doing the voice stuff for. Matter of fact, right before I got on with you guys, I'm in a session with Mr. Greer from Grindhouse Radio. We were doing some stuff, and I got the email for the lines. I play the character, the lead character of Terror T in the new video game Serial Killers, which is going to be a fighting 2D video game, which is all of the different variations of, I guess you'd say, all of the different serial mascots, and I'm Tony the Tiger. So what do you call it? I get to do Terror T, and it's not just the video game, it's an animated series also. So I've got the first 1 minute animated clip that I've got to do the voice work for. I just got the script, so super psyched about that. And yeah, man, I do so much that I could go all over the place, and I know you guys had so many different things you wanted to talk about, and now I feel awful because I talk way too much.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Brimstone, President and CEO, Hood Comics and Hood Entertainment Group. So, Brim, you are not one for procrastination, and like you said, you can juggle it all, but you're mastering it all, which is fantastic, and not many people can do that. So we know you are not only super busy, but you're a perfectionist when it comes to your craft, and that's really key, especially when it comes to media and voiceovers. And so how do you kind of, I don't want to call it your secret sauce, because we already have the Brimstone sauce, but how do you just manage the fact that, you have a healthy, portfolio and brand overall?
Do
you ever sit back and just look and say, wow, like I'm accomplishing all of this. This is your Brimstone empire,
the brand,
you're pushing forward,
It is sometimes I look, because I'm in the moment, you know what I mean, and I'm always there, and I'm always working, and I'm hustling, and on a calls and doing, and sometimes you don't get a chance to stop and go, wow, look at that. When it really hit me is when I did the rebrand of the website, and everything's not even on there. I'm missing like coffee and other stuff and things that I noticed. I forgot because there has been so much. But what do you call it? When I rebuilt the website, the biggest thing for me is I had always had other people that were webmasters and they all did it, for me, and it was never what I really wanted. And I just got frustrated because it was like 3 years, nothing had been done to my website, and I couldn't see, nothing new was up, and so people thought that I was still wrestling or whatever, and I looked at it and I go, I can't have this. I need to do something. So I just took it over and I took the website, I shredded it, and I did it all and rebuilt it myself. And that everything that's done on the site, I did it. What do you call it? So if you hate it, well, it's all me. If you love it, yay, I did it. But I said, I'm taking it over, and I took it over, and as I was going through it, I had to note everything and map everything out and figure out what's going where and how I'm doing it. And that's when I really realized. And when I rebuilt the bio for it and, figured out, and I go, wow, okay. I kind of accomplished a lot of really cool things. And that's when I really, you look back and go, holy crap. And it's the same thing with Grindhouse Radio. Right after I did that, I was inspired and I said, we're rebuilding Grindhouse Radio. And I went in, I rebuilt Grindhouse Radio's website, and which is I love the website and how that came out. And it's such a great one-stop shop for everything we do, and then I looked back at that and I go, holy crap. Look at we've accomplished a lot, like you don't realize it because you're in the now. You don't stop and think about what happened because it's so fast paced. Everything's go, 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 and I mean, you met me, I think it was last year, Donyshia, but Ray's known me for quite some time, and I was always I'm in and out of town and rushing and running and, just flying out and bussing in and, it's like, no matter what day of the week it was, like, I wouldn't even know what day of the week it was. You know what I mean? Like, I had people telling me what day because they were bringing me wherever I had to go. So, for me, having to stop, having the time, because again, COVID, having the time to sit and go through everything, that really woke me up and said, wow, this is, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, and I'm very proud of what my crew has accomplished. And we still got a long ways to go. You know what I mean? We got a lot more to do. So hopefully we'll continue to rise. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. I think we're happy to have you around for a long time. We're looking forward to Brimisms 2, 3, 4 up to like 13. One of the things that we also should bring up here is that you've had a lot of experience. You do so much and you love what you do and you're passionate, and you've also shared that information. You've been very generous with advice and helping others. So I'd like to close by bringing in what advice would you give our listener for what they should do and how you can help them, and make sure that you include your contact information, where we can find you and so on.
The best thing that I can say to anybody who's looking to get into business, if you're looking to get into entertainment, you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be all in. You can't do it half donkey. Because I don't know what I can say on air with you guys. But what do you call it? You can't do it. You can't do it. You have to be all in, is basically what it comes down to. Be all in, and you've got to work 10 times harder than the next person, because just like you have dreams and goals and you want to make it to a certain level, so do thousands of other people, or hundreds of thousands of other people who are vying for that same spot or that same dollar. You know what I mean? So you have to work super hard. And most of all, you need to believe in yourself and believe in the product that you're putting out, whether it's yourself or something that is tangible or you're putting out on air. If you don't believe in it, nobody else is going to believe in you. You know what I mean? So believe in yourself first, believe in your product second, because if you don't, nobody else will. And I could go on, of course, but the best places to find me are therealbrimstone.com. You can go to thegrindhouseradio.com. Instagram is that's where I respond often, because I'm on there and I try to interact with everybody. Please interact with me, engage. The more you engage with me, the more I'll engage back. At The Real Brimstone on Insta, it's verified, you know it's me. If you go to at The Grindhouse Radio on Insta, not only myself but the whole cast will be sitting and talking to you. Kim is very, very busy on there. You guys know Kim, so Kim's very engaged on there. So is Tom. So you get Mr. Greer and every so often Zamba will jump on there. So it's important. It's important for me to be engaged with the people that are my audience. You know what I mean? And if you have a question, if you have a business question, you have a personal question that you let me know. I'm here. You know what I mean? And that's basically it, and hopefully you guys will check me out.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Brim, as always, it's a pleasure to have you. You're a big friend of the show. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Oh, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for doing what you guys do. You guys are amazing, and I love you all. And now I love you, Michael, for getting to meet you, even though you said nothing because I took up all the time, and I apologize.
Oh, thank you. So welcoming. Thank you so much.
Well, Brim, it is always a ride, and in true Brimisms, I call it DB's philosophy. Dreams are built together and will come true if you focus with a little Brimism.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston Hill, your co-host and producers. We're also with Michael Chung, who is our associate producer. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. We're available on iHeartRadio as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk with you next week.
Tower Talk Business Radio.